Saturday. Fun day Saturday. People filling up the chat. Hello, MJ Not That One and Geeky Chorio 24. At least the people talking. Oh, man. Song always gets me pumped and in the mood. Oh, man. Happy Saturday to all of you, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're having a good Saturday. Maybe you don't have to have a great Saturday. You don't have to have even a good Saturday. If you're in a bad mood, hopefully you'll come here and we can just hang out and chat and relax and recharge. I spent yesterday... Oh, yeah, there's Nightbot. Hello, Kevin11. Kevin11 has popped up in the room. Hello, hello. By the way, songs today coming from our Nightbot and music from the Monster Cat channel. If you type, what's the command that I need to put in here? Songs list. You can go request your own songs to play today. And we can just listen to some fun music and play Legendary DXP, a bunch of other stuff. Maybe a surprise guest later if he decides that he wants to participate. He was playing Lego earlier, so we'll see if he shows up. But, you know, yesterday was the first day in a long time that I just got to veg out and do nothing. And I got to tell you, it was quite relaxing. So, you know, we've been doing stay at home. We've been doing school at home. I've been doing major spoilers and teaching virtually. And what else have I been doing? Oh, yeah, being a parent. That's kind of a thing. And Friday was the day we turned in the kids' stuff. After school was over, we turned all the iPads and picked up things that needed to be picked up from their lockers and all of those things. And I was done with all my classes. I've graded everything. All the grades have been submitted. So that's a plus. And then in the afternoon, I was just like, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish editing this week's episode of Critical Hit, get that posted for people. And then the youngest, who's now 9, the youngest of the two boys, was like, hey, Dad, can we watch Solo? Because we've been working our way through the Star Wars movies. So we watched Solo. And so I just took the afternoon off. Didn't do Finally Friday. Didn't have to do anything at all last night because I had already finished editing Critical Hit. Knew what I had to get done this morning. It's too cloudy and too rainy to go out and do any astrophotography last night. And so we watched Solo. We kind of grazed on, you know, pizza and chips and whatever else we had available. And then we watched a bunch of horrible live television, which I hate live television. And then about 10:30, everybody went to bed, and I goofed off for about another hour, and then I went to bed and woke up refreshed and relaxed. It's kind of nice just hanging out with the family every once in a while. So Malone says that he is a big fan of nothing. I am a big fan of nothing as well. And oh, hey, quick reminder there from the from the Nightbot. Don't forget you can help us out by subscribing to this channel. Click that purple button up there at the top, and then we'll take money right out of Jeff Bezos' hands, and we'll put it into a Major Spoilers account, and then when people come on and do podcasts or write articles for the majorspoilers.com website or any of those kinds of things, that money magically comes out of the virtual wallet and magically into their wallets, where they can go and buy food for their kids or their families or pay their rent or do whatever else they need to do. And we are glad that we have so many nice subscribers to this channel. Also, a bunch of awesome patrons over at patreon.com/majorspoilers. The alias you set this command to be of... Oh, I don't know what MSP does. I must have set it for something, so I'm going to have to go in there and fix that. Today, I was working with Oculus Quest. So we got the Quest a couple of weeks ago. I've talked about it on the on this channel and on Finally Friday. Ooh, and maybe even on our Major Spoilers podcast. But the one thing was I couldn't get it to connect to the PC. For 2 weeks, yeah, I was futzing around with it, ordered one of those approved cables, and then could never get it to work, even though it says I have a USB 3 cable port on this computer, and it shows that there's a USB extension or something, a USB 3 extension installed. Couldn't get it to connect. Magically today, thanks to an update, it connected, but we won't be doing any Quest gaming. I was getting that set up. The one thing that I didn't realize, it's not available, I don't think, on the Quest store, but it is available on the whatever the Oculus store is when you connect everything to PC. Google Earth VR is really awesome if you guys have not tried this out. It's kind of like walking through a little papier-mâché world where you go into this town, or go anywhere in the world, and you're just kind of flying over it, and because of low geometry and the way things are texture mapped, it looks like you're, well, I guess you could play Godzilla if you want. But it was kind of cool just flying over and looking at things, jumping down into street view and looking around, and then popping back up. It was very, very cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Very relaxing. And so I'm relaxed. I'm recharged. I've got the Quest working. We won't be doing Beat Saber. I think I'm going to have a lot to say about the Oculus, Facebook, the stores, and game creators on Friday's Finally Friday, because I ran into some things today that I wasn't too pleased with. But we'll talk about that Friday on Finally Friday. Today, we're just going to hang out and we're going to play some Legendary DXP. And we're just going to relax and have some fun. Look, there is a raid that is going on, so I think we'll jump into the raid. And if you're someone who has never played Legendary DXP, then welcome. I know that there's a Legendary DXP channel. I know that there's not a lot of people always streaming on the Legendary DXP channel, but if you are someone involved with the creation of this game, or if you're someone who enjoys playing this game and you just wanted to pop in and see what other people were doing, welcome. Want to welcome you to this game. Yes, we will use 3 energy to play. Oh, let me open up the audio so you guys can hear all the cool sound effects for this. Last week I finally got I think I've got it all figured out, the audio on this PC and the Voice Meter Potato app, which is kind of like, for those of you who are on a Mac, it's kind of like it's not Pineapple. What the heck is that? That routing software. It's kind of like that. From, not Asmodee, but from Rogue Amiga. And it's a, I'm starting to figure out how it works over on the PC side. It's a little bit weird in that it doesn't allow you to just route audio from one place to another, but it still does a really good job. So I've gotten that figured out. I feel very productive today, even though I haven't done a whole lot. What about you? Have you guys done anything productive? What about you, Kevin11? Have you done anything productive today? Yesterday, so many people over on the Twitter feed. Scott said he was installing a new back gate. That looked really cool. Mark said he was going to do some stuff up in Oregon to get out the vote. Nigel was resting and recovering. Neog, I think that's how you say that person's name, is editing his website. Lyndon was doing some D&D commissions and listening to podcasts. So a lot of people were out just hanging out and doing a whole lot of nothing today and yesterday. Garden stuff and some late spring cleaning. I have warned the boys now that school is over, because I think at least one of them was overly stressed out about that, about school. Now that school is over, it is time... Oh, shoot, I don't have one of those. I can take a wound. It's time to start doing work for the summer. So they are going to start doing some cleaning on a daily basis. I figure if we can each of us do 30 minutes of cleaning, whether that be dust the baseboards, run the vacuum cleaner, clean counters, strip the beds, that kind of stuff every day, then I think maybe by the end of the summer we'll have a really clean house. So I'm also in agreement with you that let's do some spring cleaning. We haven't done any garden stuff, although my wife did plant some strawberries, which have already turned red, but because they're the youngest, the sidekicks strawberries, I have yet to taste them. He wants them all for himself, because it's only producing 1 or 2 right now. And I think my wife deserves to rest today, so she's just relaxing. That's what you should do, just relax. Cooking, let's see, cooking counts as being productive? Of course it does. I mean, you got to eat, right? And so, oh, my wife made some delicious ribs yesterday. So good. Ooh, there's probably something about wounds as a... Evil wins if 5 undead escape. Let's see. I don't know how many... wounds are in the wound stack, so we have to be a little bit careful. Swapping between dancing and choreography and sewing commissions. When you say swapping between dancing and choreography, you mean as like practice for something that you do in the real world, or just, dancing because it's fun to dance and music enriches all of our lives. Also sewing commissions. Nice. I need to do some more stuff regarding... Oh, yeah. This'll work. We'll gain a wound, and then we will discard a wound. 8, 9. Let's smash the mastermind in the face. Nice. And we're not going to buy anything this turn. I did a commission last Christmas. I actually ended up doing it for free. I was pretty bad about that, but I did a bunch of stuff with my laser cutter, and I'd like to do more of that going forward. And then I'm doing some 3D printing stuff. I need to get my 3D printer started back up. I did a 2-day print over the last 2 days. Almost used up a whole roll of filament. And then I'm going to start another print here later today, which is this is like a 42-part piece that I'm putting together. And oh, okay, let's discard up to 4 cards from my... Don't really want that one. I want to smash things. But, it's this part that I'm doing today is going to take about 3.5 days to run on the printer. And I think it's from what I can tell, it is the largest part. I took it from a regular size and blew it up to 375% of its full size. And, yeah, almost couldn't get it to fit on the bed of the printer. And used up a lot of filament in the process, but that's okay. Ooh, shoot. I need to knock some villagers in the head. And I can't. Been watching Titans, and I beat Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for Retro Games blog post tomorrow. Nice. What is Titans? Gardening is Monday, maybe sewing or recording tomorrow. Nice. More just keeping my skills up, plus finding new music to create dancing with. Nice. You know, I've got the Oculus Quest over here, and I got it so I could, you know, do some exercise as well as, you know, meditate and relax. Because, you know, being at home and not being able to go anywhere, it's been kind of getting to me. And turns out, over the last 2 weeks, I haven't had a chance to really play with it because the oldest has been on it. And he runs the battery down, and I know you can... Maybe he's watching, I better be careful what I say. You can actually play the Oculus plugged in. And so I let him play it like 2 or 3 hours a day, but those are the 2 or 3 hours that I have free. And so I have yet to really play the game, although Beat Saber is a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. What are we going to do here? And we need to bump this up. Oh, Titan's the DC show. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I need to get caught up on that. I watched like the first 3 episodes and then I got distracted with other things. Ah. Okay, let us... We got 12 here. So how is this calculated? I was hoping that it would say how it calculates... I'm only going to lose one guy here. Which is fine. Just trying to figure out how this is calculated. I wonder if this is calculated based on... It's got to be calculated on this. Equal to the scheme twist counter. Okay. Makes sense. Should have probably then just attacked there. A TiVo Tornado 3D printer I need to fire back up. Is that a small one? How big of prints can you get? I've got the Lulzbot Taz 6, which I've been very pleased with. Originally I have the MakerBot, whatever the original MakerBots were. And that was really good until it started to really cause problems, and then I was able to get my hands on the Lulzbot. And it's been great. Alright, I'm about to lose... some villagers. Nice, doing some COVID masks. It's always a good thing. I don't think it matters what order we have these in. Alright, let us get rid of a villager, rescue a villager. We've got a... Oh, good. Yeah, I gotta be careful because I may run out of wounds if I don't Okay. Let's see if we can... Ah, nice. Well, I'll just defeat one of them for free. I think it's, from what I remember, and Malone, you may remember, you have a better idea, but from what I remember, it's no more violent than any other PG-14 show you may watch, or some of the more recent Warner Brothers animated features. I mean, I wouldn't let my kids watch it, but it doesn't mean that they haven't already watched it behind my back. $26, man, we are really low. But, not knowing how many wounds I have... I will grab this one, and then I won't buy anything else. I could have gotten that one, but again, too many wounds. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. That's probably about right. Probably. Alright, I will draw 3 extra cards at the end of this turn, but I am going to lose a villager. Not that huge of a deal because I think it has to be 5 villagers that need to escape first. I have a lot of purchase power here, but not enough... Not enough attack power. Let's see. Well, we might as well get rid of this guy so we can draw 3 cards. There we go. So we got one more here. We might as well, let's see, 8 plus 9 is 17. 8, or that's 14. We have just enough to do this one. And do this one. And win the game. Pow. Mastermind defeated. It wasn't super high. We'd have to see... I don't think I had any combos. Ooh. There were 0 wounds left. That's not good. Yeah, no combos. Interesting. That's okay. If you know anything about this game, you know raids are the way to get a bunch of bonus stuff, so we will go ahead and raid a couple more times. A lot of villagers coming out. If you are someone who regularly plays Legendary DXP, give a shout out, say hello, say hi. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. So happy to have you here. We just jump around and play a bunch of different games. This week I wanted to play Legendary, and the boy said he might want to come and play a game, but I don't know if he's going to do it. I think he's chicken. Nobody calls me a chicken. Well, let's rescue some villagers at least. One short. We'll rescue a villager. So much nastiness going on in the world. I made one comment about an incident, and somebody just went off on Twitter. Some people just can't let things just go. Monday, Stargirl launches. I'm looking forward to that. I saw the new trailer, or the most recent trailer that they had for that. That looks pretty good. Now, I don't know if that is CW launch or if that's DC launch, DC Universe launch. But it looked pretty good. So I'm very much looking forward to checking that out. Shoot. That did not go as planned. I will go ahead and get this one, just to get that one more star out of this. I mean, you guys are all awesome. Everybody watching, you are awesome people. It is the not-so-awesome people that concern me. And believe me, there's a lot of not awesome people in the world right now. I think of all of the digital games that I have right now, this one is my favorite, I think. Yeah, I saw that. I listened to that one as well. She was very excited and very happy to be playing that part. So again, I think that's the thing that got me finally to say, you know what? I think I want to check this out. That plus, I believe Luke Wilson is in the show. It's one of the Wilsons, not Owen. Oh, I should have. Wasn't paying attention to what I really had in my hand there. Should have made that just a buying. Oh, no need to blush, Kevin11. You know it's true. So what do we got? Buying power, huh? Yeah, what really looks interesting about this is, even though there's some JSA-ness in it, when Stargirl comes on board, when you have like Dr. Midnight and I forget who else from JSA that they have on here, but it's all kids. So that is the thing that's going to be kind of interesting. It's not like old Dr., grown-up Dr. Midnight or Wildcat or anything like that. It's kids. So I want to see where this goes. Okay, we need to knock this one down, even though that's going to kick that villager up. Oh no, it doesn't kick that one up. It's the scheme twist that does that, sorry. Let's see if we can get... Well, we'll be able to at least take a villager out. Oh, that's right. Our Man was another one that I saw. That one will be interesting, right? Because, especially if they do the Miracolo way that Our Man's powers work, and if it's a kid using drugs to boost his powers, that'll be... or to give him powers for an hour, that will be interesting to say the least. Especially for those of you that have read The Golden Age, one of the best Elseworlds stories ever. In that he becomes very much addicted to Miracolo. Yeah, I'm going to gain a wound. That's okay. Maybe, but I have a feeling the way that it's kind of played up, I don't think, you know, classic Alan Scott or Jay Garrick are going to be part of this unless they're showing it in like a picture or something like that and just saying, hey, these were characters that were here. Just because that really complicates a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to bet the Warner Brothers said, no, those are characters that are off of the table. Although I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then that would be great. But considering that we have a Flash over on the CW, that could make things a little sticky. Let's see if we can do this. Hey there, the boy, if you are watching this game, and if you want to get in and play your game for everybody, come on down in about 20 minutes. And if you're not paying attention, then phooey on you. KO. Discard and put back. Alright, now villagers crank up. Yes. I like that as well, Malone. Although that one did have some weirdness with Obsidian, right? If I remember correctly, Alan Scott's son, where he was like evil from the inside or something like that. I kind of forget how that storyline ran. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin11. Don't forget there are some major spoilers, emotes that you can use. I thought it said discard up to 4. Alright, whatever. Well, the weird thing is, most of them aged normally. Alan Scott aged normally. Jake Garrick aged normally. Trying to think, Wildcat aged normally, I believe. And then when that Neuron storyline kicked off, Alan Scott was de-aged, and so was Jay Garrick in that event storyline. All right, let us knock this one down one more. I wish I could draw 3 extra cards now. So this one's going to escape. I'm going to get a wound, providing that there's any wounds left in the pile. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think we've got the mastermind beat here. All right, so we got 16 for sure if we rescue a villager. Man, should we just rescue a couple of villagers? Yeah, let's bump those points up. But I think we should probably try to knock out the mastermind if we can here, because, like I said, I don't know how many more wounds are in the wound stack. It's so tempting to just push your luck, right? I mean, we've got 24 cards here for the villains. Let's see, is there a thing that tells us... Oh, look at that, I got some emotes, wow. Nope, no idea. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and take out the mastermind. No, so Jay was, so again, if Jay was an original, JSA member, by the time Barry came around in 1960, he was already retired, right? So that would put him at 50 or 60 years old. And so then Barry goes out and does all of his stuff, and then we get the Underworld event, right? Underworld Unleashed with Neuron coming back. And I'm pretty sure he gave, and that would have put him around 90 at that point. And I'm pretty sure they de-aged him for that event. Alan Scott was the same way. Alan Scott was super old by the time that Underworld Unleashed came about, and he did make a deal to de-age himself in exchange for something. I forget what that was. and that's how come he got de-aged to a younger self. And then, of course, when they did, was it Rebirth? And then they gave Alan Scott on Another Earth, and it was great because they were like, hey, here is a gay Green Lantern, and here is his significant other, and they're so happy together, and then boom, train crash, and killed his significant other, and then, of course, it became a train wreck literally after that. So I don't know, I'm pretty sure that if I remember correctly, that is how those two got DH. I don't remember about Wildcat. Dr. Fate, I don't remember how he ages or not, but I do know that Dr. Fate can be killed and the helmet can be passed on to someone else. And so that is how, we've had various incarnations. Also, if I remember correctly, Fate, was it Naboo? Not Naboo, that's the Star Wars planet. Doesn't Fate go and do his own thing in his dimension, and it's only the body that they kind of swap places with? Maybe? I don't know. By mid-'80s, early 90s, they would have been... I don't even know if they would have been mid-20s, early 30s during World War II. 30 seems a little old for people in World War II. Early 20s, early to mid-20s, I could see that. But I don't know. I think they've probably done something where Speed Force now gives everybody slow aging because, heaven forbid we actually have characters age up. I mean, we have to get rid of not Jeff Johns, but we have to get rid of Dan DiDio if we want to have characters age up. Or not age up. He wanted them to age up, wanted Batman to retire and have John Fox. Was it John Fox? Step in and become the new Batman. And then, of course, he got fired, and now Generation 5, G5, is all in jeopardy and out of whack and everything, so... Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like you go and look at old photographs. You go look at my grandfather when he was... Pictures of my grandfather when he was like 40. He just looked like an old man, right? Just looked old. Like he was in his 60s. But, yeah, I guess back then you just aged quicker. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, come on. Get your... Oh, sorry. Where are we? Over here. Sorry. Gosh. Did Did I play a whole game without you guys seeing it? Sorry about that. I've got the game screen full screen over here and OBS over on the other window. So yeah, I was only paying attention to the chat and not what we were actually streaming. Oh, thank you for that, Nightbot. Yes, indeed. We just finished up. For those of you that are fans of the Fate RPG system, we just finished up our playthrough of a new chapter of Modern City Tales. The Dead and the Old is a team-up issue, a team-up arc, where Don Freeman and Jetstar go and have an adventure together. You can get that at just the silver level. No, yeah. No, that one is at the gold level. You have to be a gold level member to get access to that. And then, of course, ongoing is the Shadow of the Demon Lord for probably, what, another 7 or 8 more installments of that game. Some scary stuff going on. That one's recorded in binaural sound, and we're playing the Shadows of the Demon Lord, which, you know, got some scary stuff going on in there. And then, of course, we wrapped up our discussion of the Flash on our Flashback show. Did you get that at a silver level membership? Did that this week to coincide with the 19th episode of the series. Ah, shoot. Oh, and then Malone is mentioning Legion Clubhouse. I've been listening to Legion Clubhouse and started thinking if you ever had the same age issue as JSA regarding original characters in Superboy. I do not. Mainly because I didn't get into JSA until later. And so I always thought of them as old guys, as old people. And so when they went through all their stuff in... When they went through all of their stuff in Underworld Unleashed, I was really kind of okay with that. Because really kind of my... As I mentioned it earlier, kind of my introduction to Golden Age heroes, you know, granted you can read Golden Age stuff, pre-Crisis stuff, and see a lot of Golden Age characters running around. But really my introduction to what the Golden Age was all about was that Elseworlds series, The Golden Age. It really introduced me to, like, who are the Metal Men? Who's the Doom Patrol? Who are all of these people? And so it just started to click to me then, or at me then. And then, you know, you start getting introduced to more of those characters from JSA eras when Mark Waid takes over for The Flash and starts bringing Jay Garrick and Johnny Quick into the storyline, and you're starting to figure out, okay, who are all these characters? Even Quicksilver, bringing Max Mercury in, has a lot to say, hey, there was this age of heroes before. So that's kind of where I really started getting into JSA. As far as aging heroes, I don't really have a problem with aging heroes. If you want to age your heroes, I think there can be some really cool things done with that. I mean, look at Gasoline Alley, for example. Look at, what's the one, For Better or For Worse? I think you can even look at, what's another one that they age their characters? The one that had that horrible, depressing storyline about cancer. you can look at those stories and see how those characters age, and see how the people who are writing those stories and telling those stories are able to use age as a tool to help bring in new readers and to help older readers move on without being stuck, because if your characters aren't going to age, you kind of have to keep them in that time period. If you want to keep Wally West or Barry Allen in a specific time period, then Wally West should probably, if he was supposed to grow up, which he did, he was a kid sidekick. Nightwing is another one that they allow to age up. Drake is another one that they allow to age up. If you're going to do those kinds of things, it almost feels like you can't pick and choose who you want to age up and who you want to de-age, or those kinds of things, because then it does bring up the questions of continuity issues. But if you're just going to be like, what was her name, who was in charge of Warner Brothers and DC, Diane Nelson. If you want to go and be Diane Nelson and say, hey, we're just here to tell stories, continuity doesn't really matter, then I can get behind that. But if you're someone who wants to jump in and say, yes, continuity does matter, and we have to do it this way, then you have to do it across the board. Oh, Kevin says he's been hanging out during the live dueling review podcast. I guess that's another thing we should mention for those of you who are considering signing up the Patreon. Silver or gold. Silver really, I think, is where you get your best bang for the buck. But if you do sign up, even at the silver level membership, you get to connect your Discord account to your Patreon account. And then on our Discord server, you have access to a bunch of other channels. And one of them is where we record the not Legion Clubhouse, Dueling Review live every Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And it gives you a chance to answer questions if you have questions, or other things if you have other things you want us to talk about. We can certainly do that there as well. Malone says, I'm a big fan of legacy teams. I'm fine with magical guys, aliens, and such that do not age, for example. I really think Dick should be Batman for a good example. Oh, man. I don't think Dick is a good Batman. And I know, before everybody's heads explode, or those of you who are watching in the replay, before your heads explode, hear me out. Batman has always been dark. Batman has always been someone brooding, someone who is scary. And Dick has always been kind of the opposite of that, right? Dick has always been happy, upbeat, the antithesis of Batman. Batman dresses in dark colors, Robin dresses in bright colors, until, of course, he becomes Nightwing. But even Nightwing is not dark and brooding. Nightwing is got a positive, happier attitude than I think you would find in most vigilante-type characters. So for that reason, I don't think Nightwing makes a good Batman. Unless you... and again, I'm not a fan of Damian Wayne by any means. Gag. But if you wanted to have a antithesis to Damian Wayne as Robin, then yes, you could have a Dick Grayson as Batman, and then those two would be the antithesis of one another. But I really think, and I still hold to the fact, that the best character to become the next Batman should have been Tim Drake. He was much smarter than Batman and proved it over and over again. His detective skills were much better than Batman. He proved that over and over again. I think that would have been a much natural progression. And then whoever it is, maybe it was Dan DiDio, I don't know. But someone in editorial, just like Dan DiDio, it's well known that he wanted to kill Dick Grayson Nightwing and get him out of the picture back in, was it 52 or Countdown, one of those two. And wasn't allowed to go through with it because there would have been too much backlash. But I think if you wanted to retire Batman, then Tim Drake should have been the natural next hero. I think he's good as Nightwing. Humor is needed. Jason Todd would have been the best legacy Batman, but that ship sailed. I think, and here's the thing that I can see where you're coming from. If Batman has to be dark and Batman has to be brooding, Jason Todd was never super smart, right? So you need some detective skills, and of course, those kinds of abilities can be learned. And if you're looking for a hero to just come in and punch and smash, then yes, Jason Todd would be that. But that questionable ending to that one Jason Todd story where the guy slipped or Jason Todd pushed him and killed him, I think you very quickly run into the potential for Jason Todd to kill. And of course, as the Red Hood, you know, he has been known to not save people. And so I'm not sure that he would be a good... I'm not sure he would have been a good Batman replacement, just for that. And I think we kind of saw that echo in Azrael, right? The reason why Azrael was brought in, and I don't know, I wish I could talk to the creators and really find out, you know, what was the whole process of bringing Azrael in, because if you are in a dark brooding time post Legends of the Dark Knight, where everyone thinks that Batman has to be mean and aggressive and breaking arms and killing people, then I think maybe Azrael was the introduction that Batman fans needed to say, here's what happens when you have a character like this, where you have a truly awful character in the term of Azrael who goes out of control and who wants to go out and become an avenging angel and kill and smash and do all the bad things that he did, so that hopefully by the time that Asbat cycle was done, Nightfall and everything, that you look at what Azrael was doing as Batman and you're like, no, I really don't like that as my Batman. And so when you get Batman back, you're like, okay, this is the Batman that I'm accepting of. So I don't know. Let's see. I think it relates to the fact that Batman is the real person, Bruce Wayne is the alter ego, though. Dick Grayson doesn't have the same idea behind him. I took Tim not obsessed and driven to take what Batman is. Tim was kind of too level-headed and even too smart. I would agree with that. And in fact, when they start to explore questions of, Tim Drake and, spoiler, Stephanie Brown, and what they could, that they could have a relationship together, and what would it mean to have a more grounded character, a more grounded Batman. Yes, I think that maybe it does show that Tim is too level-headed, but I think that, for someone who, for someone who does need to kind of prove himself, Tim Drake, even level-headed, makes a solid Batman. Who do you go after? Who do you not go after? How do you figure out justice? And I think for what was going on in the 80s and early 90s, Tim was a great character to have around because he provided the more tech know-how in a form of a younger character, them young kids who always know more than the adults. And I think that worked in Tim's favor. Oh, perfect. All right, we're done with that one. Yeah, but at the same time, Dick is quippy, right? Dick is happy-go-lucky. Dick is the one that bursts out of the shadows and says, "It's me, Batman. You must be my #1 fan." You know, that kind of stuff. And I don't think people accept that as Batman, or at least a lot of people don't. I know there's a lot of people who would argue that, yes, Batman can be happy and chummy and all the 1966 Batman stuff that you want to put in there. But that's not also kind of the origin of Batman. That's a whole other discussion right there. So there we go. We got a couple of... oh, you know what? Let's go back into the raid. Oh, I'm at number 21. Let's give it a couple minutes and see. I always get into these raids way early, so I don't know where I eventually end up, but for some reason, if I can get up into the top 10, I could play this 2 more times and get up there into that top 4 or 5. Then I usually can get a reward out of this. I guess we're not going to have a surprise guest. I guess he chickened out. I think let's go do a campaign really quick. And then see where my positioning is, and then we'll decide. This is a good comic talk. Thanks for bringing that up. I enjoy that. In fact, there is that link to that Discord server. It would take way too long-term storytelling than publishers are prepared to do to change character personalities in believable ways over time. Maybe. I mean, we have seen characters change in believable ways, sometimes rather abruptly. Harley Quinn, I think, would be probably a good example of that. Just in the way that she has gone from, you know, sidekick mall, villain of the week, to a somewhat likable character, to someone who has, as we've found out in Mad Love and other stories, someone who has a somewhat tragic, sad background, and so we add a little bit more sympathy to her character. And then as the character goes on, and again, this has been going on for over 20 years now with her, we get to a point where the character is now kind of in a gray zone. Is she an anti-hero? Is she a hero? Is she a villain? You know, where does she sit in that realm? So I think you can do it, and it is long-term. I don't think it's something that you can just do, right? It's not something that you can go and say, hey, we're going to introduce a character, and over the course of the next 20 years, the character is going to change and adapt and do these kinds of things and be this way, because you don't know if that character is going to succeed. And I have never seen a publisher anywhere that understands long-term planning or goals. And so I think that would be rather hard to do. So you just kind of have to do it in stages and see how people react. And if that means a new creator comes on board and changes the character in a subtle way that makes sense. Catwoman is, again, another example, right? Hero, villain, anti-hero. It could. It could. I think, however, once Dick moved from being Robin in the shadow of Batman and became Nightwing, and even kind of dissing Batman with the Superman Nightwing character, I think that is when Dick became his own man, and I don't think he would ever... And we even saw it in the Batman and Robin run with him, that he was doing it as a temporary basis because Batman had asked him to. And once he was able to get out of that, he just got out of that. But I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I'm not trying to be argumentative or to say that you're wrong or anything like that. I just don't see in the way that you have a long-term happy-go-lucky hero who's really kind of been on his own to suddenly turn into a Batman-esque grumpy lump. I just don't see that playing out in a super positive way for the character long-term without a bunch of angry readers. And really, with Nightwing being one of those few characters right now that attracts audiences and readers on both sides, fudging up that character, it would be a very, very bad move, in my opinion. We'll get rid of that one. Didn't they do that, though? Didn't they try to do that, and it just didn't work? I mean, if you had somebody that, if you had a Dan Slott character who said, here is my vision for this, and you got to trust me, and he is someone that is going to have a 200, 300, 400 issue run of a character, then yeah, I could see doing something like that. But if you're like, 12 issues, and then we're going to change to another creative team, and we're going to do that every 6 to 12 issues, then you really can't do it, because the minute the next person comes in, they're going to want to reset the character to the way that they want it. And that's the way it's always been with, or I shouldn't say it's always been. In most recent times, that is what we have seen with creative teams as they come in. Everything gets a reset. Daredevil, I think, is probably the best example of that. Oh man, we are not going to win this game. We're going to have to start kicking some behind us. I mean, if you really had... so here's the thing. If you want to read a really good Nightwing story that has all those things that you're talking about, you really should turn your attention to a little series called Invincible that had all of that in there. And the only way you can do that, of course, is because you have a creator doing an original story. I mean, he's playing with all the tropes of the DC and Marvel universe, but who's willing to tell that story over the course of however many issues that went. 100, 200 issues? Man, I don't think I could pass up this character. Man, I really like this music that Monster Cat has. Yes. Total creative control in 10 years. And for whatever reason, I know that at times it felt like Invincible was repeating itself, but what Robert Kirkman did in Invincible is so amazing and feels thought out, whereas Walking Dead feels like, well, I had an idea and it became popular, and so I had to keep retreading the same story over and over again. I think that's what got me all mad about Walking Dead. Yeah, I can take out these two. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it is so good. I know it kind of got muddled there, in the original single issue releases. I think things started to get a little muddy because issues were delayed. There was long gaps in issue release, and so it became hard to kind of keep up what was going on. But yeah, for the whole run, as you see a character of all the things that we were talking about, right, go from a happy-go-lucky person to someone who literally feels the weight of the world and his people and everything on his shoulders by the end, and then coming to a realization to see characters go from what we believe to be good characters to evil characters in the form of, what is it, Robot Guy, and to play with all of those kinds of things, to see characters age. Invincible is really the character I think a lot of people didn't realize that they want. And if you haven't read Invincible, now is a good time to do it. And if you use that top banner link over at majorspoilers.com, if you're into digital comics, and you go over and you click on that Comixology banner at the top, and then buy anything, a little bit comes back our way. We have an affiliate link with them, or affiliate program with them, so a little bit comes back our way. Same way with Amazon. If you're someone that is a physical comics reader and you'd rather get the omnibus editions of Invincible, if you can still find them, there's an Amazon link at majorspoilers.com, and when you click on that, any purchase that you make through that link, doesn't matter if it's a comic book, doesn't matter if it's a new washer and dryer, doesn't matter if it's a new piece of astrophotography gear, this is going to be bad. Okay. Then a little bit comes back our way. And of course, the more you spend, the more we get. It doesn't cost you anything more when you use any of those links over at majorspoilers.com. But again, as we take money out of Jeff Bezos's pocket, whether you're, subscribing to the channel, wherever the button is, that comes out of Bezos's pocket. If you're buying something from Amazon, Bezos pays us. If you're buying something through Comixology through those links, Bezos is paying us. So knock yourselves out. And thank you for everybody who does do that. I know some people have Amazon set, the Major Spoilers link defaulted to their Amazon purchases, and that does help us out as well, so I certainly appreciate that. Yes, that's also what it's like about manga. The manga. One creator, long-term stories. I totally agree with you. I don't think this one's going to power up the way I want it to, but at least I'll get 3 out of this. We'll be able to strike the mastermind in the face this time. Unless we want to go after something else. Man. Nine and 8. Let's just grab these two. Get 17 points. I know our deck's starting to get a little small. Yeah, what's your favorite story arc in Invincible? I really like the stuff that happens with Adam Eve. I always thought that was really good, especially how those... how their relationship evolves. There we go. We got a good combo off of that. So let's punch the Mastermind. Pow. Oh, nice. So which one should we recruit? This one gives us 3+. This one gives us... we've already got this one. I'm going to go with this one. And then 13, huh? All right. Oh, man, we could smash that person again. Or we can smash 2 of these guys. I think we're going to smash 2 of these guys. Yeah, isn't his name Robot Man? I always forget his name. And then, you know, there was that arc that I found really, really interesting. I'd like to go back and read it uninterrupted someday. The one where the dinosaur dude, where he's always causing all this problem. The dinosaur dude finally comes to him and says, "Look, here's the situation. If you let me win, if you side with me, here's my plan to make the entire world a utopia. But you can't fight me on this. You have to go with me on this." And suddenly Invincible becomes a terrible, almost a villain. And he's doing these things because he knows it will bring, this great, it will solve most of the world's woes. I like that one. First time I ever got one of the Invincible Omnibus editions, I wrote about it up on Major Spoilers. It had bad binding, and so the minute I opened it up, it started to fall apart. I was really disappointed about that. Oh no, I'm out of heroes. Oh, I shouldn't have bought that. The game was over, right? I think I lost. Dang it! I should have left that alone. That's what I get for having comics chats with you guys. Actually, it's my favorite thing. All right, let us go back, doodly-doodly-doo, and let us see where I sit in the raids. Ooh, I'm at 8. I think I'll do one more raid. I think the mom is a solid character as well. Yeah, as far as like a minor character who first is all about, oh, how much I love Omni-Man and how great he is and all these things, and then have her world just completely fall apart and find out that he's not only like the worst human being in the, well, not even a human being, but the worst person in the entire world. And then he's, sleeping around, and now that there's a half-brother that she has to deal with. Yeah, she's really good. Yeah, I know some people go, MJ, not that one. I know some people go out and have their stuff specially bound. This one's cheaper. Yeah. And I know that there's a service that does that library binding, which is pretty cool. I don't think I'd ever do that. And I don't remember, I know that anybody who had one of those faulty Omnibuy, the big omnibus editions, that Image Comics replaced that at great expense to themselves. BRB, AFIK. No, wait. Just AFK, right? I don't know. Has anybody requested a song? Have any of you guys gone through and requested songs through the Nightbot thing? I guess I'm not paying attention to where all that stuff comes from, but if you have, let me know. Oh yeah, cool. Nice. So are you like a university librarian, or are you like a public librarian? Tech. I don't know if it's offensive to call you a librarian when you're a library tech, or if that causes problems. You know, like how some people with a PhD expect to be treated the same as an MD, even though they're not really technically medical doctors. I don't know what the pecking order in librarians are. And I've got a lot of wounds in my hand. I need to start getting rid of more of the... There we go. 9 plus 3 is 12. Guess I don't have any cards in my discard pile, so I guess I don't have to KO any of them. Oh, so librarians can, library techs can do both, and techs can do everything. Ah, it's a matter of budget, and you don't have a master's degree. Okay. Everything but accept budgets, or everything including accepting budgets? And you all, and so you have to have a master's degree in order to be like the full-on librarian. Now that's cool. I see. So if you get a bachelor's in, what is it, library sciences, then you're considered a library tech, and if you get your master's, then you're a librarian. And I'm sure if you have a PhD, then you're a head librarian. Man. Yeah, I'll take the points. Wonder why the ambush didn't work. That's weird. We're going to punch this one in the face. I mean, if it lets me do that, sure. Oh, can I get one more? No, it doesn't. Doesn't do me any good to play that card. See all these companies that are... I probably shouldn't say that. Because someone will get offended. There we go. Can knock out these two. Oh, I see. Nice. I'm going to go for the points on this and hope that I don't run out of wounds. Should be able to win on this one. Barely. Oh no, I guess we can't win on this one. KO. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you said sorry you had to run. I myself need to read. Sorry for the run-on. That's fine. Now we should be able to wrap up this game because we have all of the gain lots of points cards out. 2 cards out, and we're 3 cards out. We're up to 14. Okay, let us rescue a villager. I think I'm going to rescue the other villager. I think I'm going to go one more turn, one more round on this. I could have gained the wound, I think. Oh man, the youngest wants to watch Rogue One tonight, so we will be watching Rogue One. And then later tonight, I think I'm going to go do some more astrophotography. I'm going to try to go shoot the Lagoon Nebula tonight and see how that goes. I got to get all this stuff together because last time that I went out, I don't know, for those of you that follow my personal Instagram account, I posted a shot of the Milky Way that I got up at like 3 in the morning to go and shoot. These are the same. And then when I came back, everything kind of got demolished. Not demolished as in destroyed, but cast about everywhere. And I think I would like to go do the Lagoon Nebula, which is in the Milky Way galaxy. And according to... We'll take a look here. Go full cam here. Let us look. I have a theory on something that I'm looking forward to testing out tonight. Oh, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars still in line. Cool. Oops. There we go. Let me see if I can find this. So here will be the target for tonight. The Lagoon Nebula right there, with the circle around it. It's in the Milky Way galaxy. There's also, I forget what this one is right above it, the Trifid Nebula. It's kind of a good sci-fi book, the Trifid, Day of the Trifids. Ah, it reset itself. And that's at like 1:30 in the morning. If I go out at midnight, by the time I get everything set up, I can't do this from my backyard. That's the only problem. Everybody's like, oh, backyard astronomy. Go do backyard astronomy. It's going to be the greatest thing. The problem is, from my house, in my backyard, I can't get the shot of the Milky Way that I want. But if I go into the front yard, there's not enough front yard to where I can clear the top of the house to get polar aligned with the pole star, with Polaris. So I'm kind of screwed that way. So I'm going to go out into an open field area. Not going to go way out like I did with that last Milky Way galaxy photo, because all I'm doing is a telephoto shot. But if I go out around midnight, then by the time I get everything out set up, get a polar alignment, it should be close to 1, at which point I can go and try and find the Lagoon Nebula, mess around with that for like a half hour to get all the settings on the camera right. And then once... Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Once I'm done with that, I will let that run for about, what, 2 hours maybe? About 3 minutes exposures, 3-minute exposures. Try to get, what, 50 of those in. So that'd be... Oh, that's too long. That's over 2 hours. So maybe if I only do 30 exposures, that's an hour and a half. Then I have to do something called darks, which is just basically putting the lens cap on and doing another bunch, another hour's worth, which I could do when I get home. And some bias. I've already got plenty of bias shots. And then see how those come out. I'm kind of excited. It's been, several weeks since I've been able to do that, and for those of you that have followed me on my personal YouTube channel, I need to get another chapter out, an update to Steven's Astrophotography Journal series that I've been doing. That'll kind of basically cover what's been going on in the last month. But look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Third place. Third place. If you want to see, I don't have them. I don't think I have them on this. Let's see if I can bring this up. Shoot. Do I have a Windows website? There we go. Oops. So here is the Milky Way shot that I did a while ago. This would have been, what is that, 2 weeks? No, 2 weeks ago? What day did I post this? 3 weeks ago that I did this shot. And I like this shot because the bright star here is not actually a star. That is the planet Jupiter. And then right there is the planet Saturn. And all the way down here on the horizon, I know it's hard to see maybe on your stream, is Mars. And I've got a shot of Venus somewhere and another shot. The only picture I'm missing is a shot of Uranus. There is a blue version of this. So this is the... Okay, so here is as shot, right? This is the sky as shot that night. And coming out of my stacker program. And then here it is tinted blue. And then here is the one that I like, which is a more natural color of the dust lanes and everything in the Milky Way galaxy. And that one's more along the lines of what I think people expect the night sky to be. And then that's how it was shot. Once it was brought in and stacked, that's kind of the flat image. Yeah. I want to go in. I've got this. I've got a couple of these. I've got this orangish one and the blue one, sized for some A2 photography. So I'm going to go to our local print shop and see what it costs to get those made up. And these aren't great photos, and I'm sure a lot of people would just say that these are horrible pictures and not really good. But for my first big Milky Way tracked shot stuff, I'm pretty proud of them. And because I've got the 3 planets in there. Oh, do I not see? I must not have this one framed up right, because Mars should be visible here. Yeah, I don't know where Mars went to. But you can see it here. This is the wider shot. So I'm going to go get those printed up and then do something with those. Here's one that I shot several weeks ago. This is the Beehive. It's not a nebula. It's a Beehive cluster. Here's how it came out. The little purple dots is a artifact of my camera. This one was interesting because I did shoot this in my backyard and I went and shot it basically blind, which is why I think I have a technique for helping find some of these things when you're out there without using, like a go-to mount or anything like that. There's a glowing eyes project. There's a perfect column. Look at this perfect column of steam coming off that corn. Ooh. Oh, there's another perfect steam funnel of mashed potato steam. And there's a little tortoise. And there's some pork. And there's a bird. And some more birds. And there's the very first stacked photo that I did. No, not my first. But the one that I'm most pleased with. This was a second night. Here's the Orion Nebula that I shot. I think they're okay. I want to do better. This one's a little bit out of focus. There's a little bit of star trailing going on, so I'm not super happy with this. This is super cropped in. So I'm not super pleased with it. Here's a shot This is the same night. This is not the sun. This is not a full moon. This is like a 4% moon, meaning that 4% of the bright side of the moon is visible, and then when I exposed it, it blew out like that. But over here on this side, you can see Orion, Orion's belt. There's his sword. There's Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, depending on how you want to say it. There is, this is the Pleiades, right? No, the Pleiades are right here. The Seven Sisters. And then right down here is Venus. So I want to go and do some galaxy shooting. Oh, there's some flowers. I want to go do some shots of galaxies. And I guess summertime, spring and summertime are the best time to go and do galaxies. I'm only using my Canon 5D Mark III to shoot these, so it's an older camera, but I do have a 200mm or a 300mm telephoto lens that I can put on there, and then I did buy a star tracker that I use to make sure that it, everything can stay consistent. That's why when we go back to, let me find it here. When we go back to, I guess I don't have that one brought up. When we go back to this photo, if you look down here at the horizon, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's really tiny, but you can kind of see this farmhouse light is streaking up and to the right. It's because the camera is moving, so the Earth essentially is rotating in this shot. That way you can keep locked on to, your target, the Milky Way galaxy, so it's rotating opposite the rotation of the Earth. So you get that little streak that I need to go in and just Photoshop out. But yeah, so I want to go do that tonight. So I think the rest of the afternoon here, as we get ready to wrap up this stream, I'm gonna do the raid one more time. Only because I'm at number 3, and I think if I do one more, one more of these and win, I think I could be up to, at least for temporarily, be number 1. So we'll do that. Well, and so MJ, not that one. It's if you go back over to my YouTube channel, the Steven Schleicher web channel, and you will see what happens when I kind of walk through the first couple of nights. Chapter 2 of my journal is all about failure and how I went out and everything just came back to crap. I mean, just super disappointing. And so it is a process of learning and process of growing and bettering yourself each time. So, when I went out and did my very first night of astrophotography, it was awful. I think I came back with nothing that was usable. And then the second night that I went out, that was the one where I got that first shot of Orion, which I was really pleased with. Plus I got the big shots of the, somewhere I've got a shot of the Pleiades, which went all out of focus on that first night. So, that's not good. And then the third night was when I went out in my backyard to do the beehive cluster, which came out okay. A little bit better. Of course, it was telephoto, and, it's got a little bit of, I got to work on my polar tracking. And then the Milky Way shot, I kind of figured out, I think I got the polar tracking down to where I can do it within 5 or 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. And so the wide shot was really, very hardly any streaks, whatever, in the stars. And so tonight will be a test of, can I get polar aligned and make it super accurate as I can? And then the next thing will be to find the target. That'll be the next one, right? And then the third thing will be, can I get enough good shots? Because there's something I think I don't have set up right. Can I get enough good shots to where they'll stack? I can actually get something that looks acceptable, and that's the challenge tonight. Is I want to do something that I feel very happy with a long telephoto lens and puller aligned and tracking and all that stuff. The Beehive cluster is the one that was my first night on the Star Tracker, and that's what I got out of that. So tonight will be another. I don't expect it to be great, but I hope to get something. So after we're done here, after this game, and after we find out what position I land in, I'm going to start gathering all the stuff together. See, now the ambushes are working. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy. I may have screwed myself. Yeah, I think I did. I think I may have gotten rid of too much moneymakers. So I gotta gather all the stuff, then we'll have some dinner, and then we'll watch Rogue One as we work our way through Star Wars, and then I'll take a quick nap. Then I'll load up the car, and then go shoot some stars. But the other problem is, what I didn't look up to see, there is a getting close to. Let me look and see what the moon phase is, because there's going to be a lot of pollution from the moon, so that will be a pain in the butt as well. Waning crescent, or waning crescent. But I will definitely share when I'm done how everything turned out. And then at some point I need to get that next chapter done. I was going to do it today, but then I got caught up doing Oculus Quest stuff that I was talking about at the beginning. Oh, if you're in Canada, you have a big, long weekend ahead of you? Well, that is good. Nope, I did that backwards. Well, we're going to go ahead and punch the mastermind. And if you're coming in late, Alex just came in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We missed a lot of talk today. We talked about Oculus Quests, we talked about comic books and Batman and Invincible and a bunch of other cool things. And then the last couple of minutes we've been talking about astrophotography, also what it takes to become a librarian. So all good stuff today. Ah, man, I need to generate some monies, I think. I lost too many of my money cards. Oh, it's already Sunday where you're at. That's good. Oh, yes, I have screwed myself on money making. Well, I'll have to do this one. So hopefully you've had a nice day, just kind of chillaxing, relaxing. Here we go. They're each playing solitaire. All right, let's see if we can wrap this up so we can win this game. Get rid of that one. One short. Ooh, look at that one. I don't think I've ever seen that one pop up. Now we can punch the mastermind. Two heroes, huh? I think I'm gonna have to go with this one. There we go. Attack. Draw 3 other cards. We'll go ahead and grab that one. Man, just squeaking in with some of these. With some of these cards. Go ahead and recruit this one, but I don't think I'm going to buy any more cards. I think I have enough to win this. Well, hello, Monkey Bananas. Welcome, welcome. $14, huh? Yeah, let's go ahead and just knock these two out. Can you, put 2 cards on the top of your deck? Let's put this one on the top of my deck, and let's put this one on the top of my deck. And we'll punch the mastermind. Nice and sunny. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That was the other thing. Problem without going out. Number one, super tired from all the things that I've been doing. But also we had a lot of just bad weather the last week and a half. Cloudy almost every day. So not really a chance. Oh, just missed it. Not really a chance to go out and shoot. And tonight is supposed to be the first clear night around midnight. And that's about the time when the Milky Way starts to rise, so. Can I do it? Can I do it? Let's try. Got it. All right, let us end this game. Pow. Mastermind defeated. Oh, wow. Got a lot of points off that one. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Oh, getting a little cooler. Well, dress warmly. Wear your sweater. Don't forget your scarf and your earmuffs. Where are you at, Alex? Are you in Australia? Is that where you're at, or are you in like South America or something? I'm going to wait just a few more minutes. By the top of the hour, we should know what the new rankings are for this. And then we'll see how we wind up in the whole thing. Hey, music this week from Monster Cat over there with our Nightbot playing the DJ today. Hopefully that was some music to relax you. I really thought it was fairly chilled today. I think we needed that. As I was saying, yesterday was a big chill day for Friday. Doesn't feel like Saturday today because of how much and nothing we did yesterday. And then today, just, being productive here and there in little ways, and sometimes the little ways are the best ways to be productive. And maybe doing a little bit of productive stuff tonight and tomorrow. Going to edit another podcast for you guys tomorrow so that is lined up and in the queue. Another Shadow of the Demon Lord. Maybe shoot a video. Update some sites, release some more podcasts. A new Wayne's Comics podcast is coming out tomorrow morning. I don't know who he is interviewing, but we've got that coming up. You can tell that stay-at-home is starting to affect me with my hair. I think I've decided I won't go and get a haircut until at least July. Just because, everything is, I think haircuttery places are supposed to be able to open up here on Monday. So 2 weeks after that, and then 2 weeks after that will put us into mid-June. So end of June, beginning of July, we'll see how that goes. A lot of great chat this week. That's what I like. I want to see a lot of chat and chatter from everybody when we do these games. And I don't know if it's board games that make it a little bit easier to do that, or if if there's any other games you guys want to play where you guys can chat a little bit more. But always chat is good. And I thought about doing Red Dead Redemption 2, but then I was like, nah. I know people want me to get back into that, but I'm not ready to jump back into that yet. And I really thought that my oldest, I thought I talked him in, he was going to come down and dazzle you with his Minecraft abilities, but he never showed up. I'm waiting it out until August, but Georgia also opened up everything hecka quick. So yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way. If I was in Georgia right now, I'd be like, no. Of course, I may not have the choice, right? Oh, did you see that GTA 5 is free on Epic? Oh, I may have to go check that out. I would shave my head, but I think at this point, I don't want to shave the beard just yet. So if I shaved my head, I think that would look a little weird. So I think I'm just going to let it all grow. My boys were like, oh yeah, Dad, I think that would look pretty cool. And my wife just kind of groaned and rolled her eyes. So I don't think that she is a fan of me waiting until July I guess we'll find out. We'll find out who gives in first. But I think July would probably be the best thing to wait for. Maybe even August, but I used to shave my head when my first son was born. The day he was born, after I left the hospital for a while, I just went and had my head shaved, and then I came back, and my wife was kind of freaked out about that, but I told her I was going to do it. So I shaved my hair on and off, I don't know, multiple times. When he was first born, I kept my head shaved pretty much all the time. And then I let it grow a little bit, and then when the second boy was born, I started shaving it again, and that went for a couple of years until he was about 3 or 4, and then I just started letting it grow out again. Yeah, well, I had everything hooked up. All he had to do is bring down his Switch, pop it in, and start playing, and razzle-dazzle you with his, his great conversational skills. Yeah, bruh, meh, bah, meh. You know, teenager-y stuff. He actually will be a teenager very soon. But I will try to talk him into it again for maybe next week, get him on, or if he's maybe bored midweek, maybe do a midweek stream. But today, with a grumpy person on Twitter, maybe it was probably a good reason for me to not have him on. All I need is some troll jumping in and abusing him. Yeah, he got skills. Diddly doodly doodly doo. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just so we can have this on the record. I'm sure I will not be number 1 in the next 2 hours. But for now, I will hold the number 1 leader spot on Legendary DXP. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this week. Or hanging out with me. Well, hi, Zoe Brings Bacon. You're in just as we're starting to wrap things up. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today. This was super cool. Just totally chill. Everybody chatting about comic books and all the other cool things that we had a chance to talk about. Really appreciate that. I needed the last day and a half to just kind of recharge and get re-energized to do all the things that we have going on. We're past a major hurdle. The homeschooling is done for at least until August as we go into summer. I don't have to do a whole lot of other stuff until, 2 weeks at least. So as comic book shops start to open and major spoilers traffic and activities start to increase and other things start to decrease, that break really was needed. But we will be back on Thursday night in the Discord to do the live dueling review. And then we will be back on Friday for Finally Friday, where I'm going to talk a little bit about Quest, I think. Also talk about the first week of comic books, physical comic books being back in the hands of people and comic shops being open. And then next Saturday we'll jump in here again, and I'm gonna twist a boy's arm, not too hard, because then he'll go, "Oh, you're abusing me." But I'll get him in here and do some game stuff for you guys. He's pretty good at this stuff. If we get the Quest hooked up correctly, he might even be able to razzle-dazzle you with some Beat Saber, but we'll deal with that all next week. So let's get out of here this week, and everybody take care, relax, do good, be safe. Don't be a turd monkey, or any of the other kinds of monkeys, I suppose, that are out there, or other kinds of turds, I suppose. And we will talk with everyone again real soon.